Recording in progress.
What up, guys? So I'm just sitting here reflecting on my life in the last 2 years in network marketing, right? So I began this journey on September 5th of 2020. Today, it is Sunday, October 16th, 2022. So it's been 2 years now, and I was just sitting here, thinking over some things, looking at where my life is, checking out the journey in the career. Some of you have met me at this point, or you've heard my story. I can tell you, some parts of my story is the fact that I did 30 years in prison before having joined in network marketing, before knowing anything about this industry. I've achieved ranks at record heights and record speed, right? I don't know of anybody that's ever done it in the speed that I've done. Had a team of over 804 people within the first 2.5 months in the business. And that's with no experience. That's, without having connections. It was just actually building a team from scratch with a bunch of people who had never done it before. And together we went on to do great things. I've had a whirlwind journey. I've made hundreds of thousands of dollars in this industry. I've gone broke in this industry. I've had a big team. I've had to start over in this industry. But one thing I'll say is I truly love network marketing. I mean, it's a beautiful thing. And I think too often that's what get lost in the sauce, right? People forget that it's more than just the money. It is really, truly the relationships. It's, the people that you get to meet from different countries that live in different states, those connections, those relationships, those intimate phone calls that you get to have and really be in people's lives. There's so much value to be said about network marketing, and just, I've had some really exciting moments in this industry. And I know the journey's just begun. I have no doubt I'm going to the top of this industry, right? No doubt. It's just, I have a passion for it and I won't stop until it happens. It's easy to get discouraged when things aren't going your way. So I guess that's why I'm making this piece, is to say to everybody, you're going to have good times and bad times, but you really have to fight through it. I think a lot of my success has to do with how I look at life. We talk about mindset training. They say usually it takes a person 5 to 7 years before they hit the rank of 5K and above, right? And it's usually because if you think about it, if you really look around you, think about it. Look at the people who you engage with. They have a mentality when you first join in this industry. You're looking for the scam. You're looking to see if you're being taken advantage of. You're looking to see if you're being tricked. You see, that's a mindset of a victim. And that's not a mindset that's conducive of success. I mean, you got to really stop and look at that. When you're talking about network marketing, are you really speaking from a position of faith? Are you really excited? Or are you trying to sell the opportunity, right? And people can sense that. And so I will say, I think it takes a while before people start to take ownership. One thing that I find is that the new network marketer tends to see themselves a victim at every turn, right? Like you'll hear them, oh, we're following these people around and they're making all this money. Well, maybe that's a perspective. But if I'm looking at the glass as half full or half empty, am I looking at that? Is that the perspective of a person who sees the empty part of the glass or the full part of the glass? Because the other way to look at that would be, I'm traveling or with a group of people on the same journey. You see? But they're making all the money. See, people tend to look like a victim. They're looking at the upline, looking at what they're making. Are they taking anything from you? You see, that's the question. Because it's what you produce. It's the work that you do that pays you. It's not the work that he or she does, that distant person, that cloud, that, oh my God, they're making all the money. Well, that's kind of the perspective. That's kind of the objective, I should say, when building a team, is that person up there, right, has been making phone calls, making connections so that you exist. That's what got you there. So it's not that they're taking anything from you. So why do you feel victimized by their success? See, Because the truth is, you can do exactly what they done, but it's an easy place to be because there's always going to be more people at the bottom than there is at the top. So what happens is you have this huddle of people who start to feel a kind of way because they haven't been successful, because they can't build a team, because they refuse to build a team, because they don't have the energy for it, because they don't have the time for it. It takes a certain mindset that continues to go through the fight. You know, you're constantly hearing no, you're hearing the objections, you're hearing people turn you down, you're hearing people call you a scammer, and yet you continue to go forward. That is the mindset of a champion. See, that's that person who sees the glass as half full and understands it's a difficult journey, but it's a journey worth taking. The person that sees it half empty is only looking for a reason why they're not being successful. I'm not successful because, you know, Johnny is. I'm not successful because Martha didn't do such and such. You see? And this is why I think it takes an average of, 5 to 7 years before people start to realize any bit of success in this industry, because it takes them about that long, number one, to make relationships. You get out in the industry, you get to meet people, you make connections, but also to change the mindset. You'll find something very common and a very sharp difference between those who have been successful and who are successful in the industry and those who aren't. Those who aren't successful speak from a victim's mindset, right? It's they did this. Why didn't they do this? Why aren't they doing that? Whereas the mindset of the person who's successful, you start to hear more I statements, like, what can I do different? How can I make this better? You know what I mean? How can I build a bigger team? As opposed to, who's going to build the team for me? Where's the spillover? You see the difference in the mindset? So, and I don't want to get into a whole mindset training. That's not the point of this. I really want to share some insights, but, and I think that's why it takes so long for people to realize their place on this journey and to really be willing to do the work that it takes to drive through. Having said that, I've had a pretty impressive ride so far. I was making a list. I've actually sat here and I was making a list of just some of the impactful people that I've met so far or have had engagements with. I look at, David Lisiaga. He's one of the ones I have on the list. And I don't have them in any particular order. I'm going to read through some of them. They're not in any particular order. Some I will highlight, the reason why I mention their names. Some I may not. It's quite a long list. And that was the impressive part, right? But David Lisiaga, he's CEO of King Kong Matrix. He was one of the main factors behind the startup and existence of Epic Trading Company. I've had the pleasure of meeting Mr. David Iboniche, been to his house several times, currently partnering with him in a company called Envision U, and just watching what he does. I mean, my God, he is the richest African-American network marketer in the world. And I learned so much from him, be around that level of success and to be able to engage and become a student in that space is an awesome thing in and of itself. But, I think about Jacob Mickle, one of those guys who I've met very early on in my career, not knowing anything about this space. He's been such a personable guy. He calls and checks up on me here and there. And we just have a conversation and like a real brotherhood. And that's what I'll tell you guys. It's really important to make those relationships and to nurture those relationships as you go forward in this industry. If you're not doing that, then you're not realizing the value of what network marketing is. This is why we say, get out to the events, shake the hands, get the phone numbers, have the conversations, right? This is not a space to exist in a bubble, And so anyway, I mentioned Jacob Mickle because, he's one of those guys who it was a statement that he made when I first experienced him. And he said, the way a person does anything is the way they do anything, Wesley. I never forgot that because it tells you a lot. And then when you're doing a closing call, if you become more interested than interesting and you listen to this person that you're talking to and you ask them about their life, ask them about their journey, ask them about their interests, right? The way a person does anything is the way they do everything. So if you listen with an objective mind, then you can see who they are as they tell you their story. So now you have a more effective way of communicating with them on the close. Very important lesson, right? There's people like Dominique Barbie. I mean, Lord knows that woman has done so much for my career, just in the time that she has taken and the tidbits of truth that she shared with me. You know, she's one of those people who has really helped to shape my course in this industry. She's one of those people who first noticed me I was doing a beast mode boot camp training, a team training, you know, and she took that thing and she shared it. I didn't even know she had it. She literally shared it one day and she introduced it and shared it, and people thought that she and I did the Zoom together. You know, it's those kind of impactful moments from leaders of that magnitude that really exposed me to a whole group of people who I never otherwise would have known. And so, I was with her team for a while, and I've learned so much from her traveling, the way she does the cultural thing that she does, and just the interactions, the personality, how she's so personable. I mean, those things. I've had the pleasure of, I've met Kwame. We haven't worked together, but I've met him. A lot of respect. We engage a lot. There's Belita Barrett, third generation network marketing veteran who basically has made all the connections in the industry, beyond what I normally would have been exposed to. This is a woman who knows seasoned veterans from the beginning of their journey in this. She's known them since they were kids. So a lot of time, she's given me different insights, like I think about when I went out to MDC and was able to meet with, the ownership there, and just, those sorts of doors that she's managed to open for me as well. It's been instrumental. Andre Russell, I haven't met him personally, but we've engaged quite a bit, you know what I mean? But it's a relationship that I've been exposed to, a leader who I'm happy to engage with. There's Tracy Fisher, this guy's been in the industry 25 years, made millions of dollars, working hand in hand with David Imoniche. There's Megan Lynch. Man, I would always speak highly of Megan Lynch. Megan Lynch has been very influential in my career, I can tell you, because in fact, we were in a company called Tradera, and it was her. She was making $100,000 a month, and I remember she got paid. I'm thinking like, this can't be real. Like I'm like anybody else. This don't sound real. This is a bunch of crap, right? But she got paid. It was a Friday, and she got paid $25,000. And back then they should send us little text alerts, and she showed this thing like, wow, $25,000 in one check. I'm like, oh wow, this is crazy. I mean, I can tell you from that point on, she became that rank, I should say, became my obsession. That was the milestone that I had in my mind. She had been in Tradera 5 months at that time. And, she had a team of roughly 5,000 people to have that rank. So I started using that as my measure. Like I needed 1,000 people a month. That means 250 people a week. That was my measure for success. I didn't come in this industry trying to find 3 and then hoping they can find 3 and then helping him to find 2 and then hoping he gets 1. I came in literally trying to find 250 a week because I wanted the check that Megan Lynch had, right? Simple. I fell in love with comp plans. Unlike most who, some would take more interest in trading. They saw the magic in the trading. I saw the magic in the comp plan. In that, I've had the pleasure of working closely with Miss Tiffany DeBerry, who I think so highly of. She was like one of those that was, she was making $20K a month at a time. I think it was $50K when I first heard of her. And I'm like, wow, young, beautiful, doing her thing. And I'm like, man, how was this stuff possible? At the time, Dominique Barbie was making $200,000 a month. And I'm like, man, this is crazy. Like, I gotta live this life. These are people who helped to shape my journey. And, it's just been, I've had a chance to meet and engage with, Carlos and Carla Wiley. There's Selena Jackson, Ray Arnold, been working with him on a couple of different products. Tony Merrick, she's my network marketing grandmother, right? I call her my network marketing grandmother, and it's because actually she brought in a lady named Carrie Amy who brought me in. So in essence, she's my network marketing grandmother. And we've taken different courses, gone different ways, but it's always such a pleasure to engage. It's always so much love and respect there. Ray Arnold, he's just fun. I mean, Ray Arnold, he's just Ray, man. I remember one time we were out in Vegas, being able to hang out and just engage. He's just a fun guy. and he's had massive success in this industry. He's been at 100K. There's, to have those engagements. Dom Gates, I've had some engagements with him. I had the pleasure just recently to go out and meet a guy by the name of Dave Wiltz, not a network marketer, but a brother who's done majorly well for himself, right? And is now the owner of a company called BFX, which is just about to launch. And he's launching it with a guy named Courtney Logan. Now, here's the thing. I'm not a trader, even though I've been network marketing in the trading space. So I wasn't familiar with this guy, Courtney Logan, Mr. US 30. He's had all of this success. I wasn't familiar with the guy. But then the moment that I mentioned him, or that he came to be noticed as part of this new company, BFX, it's like everybody's talking about, man, you don't know who that is? Like this guy. So I had the pleasure to sit down and meet with him, right? It was him, Dave Wiltz, Jonathan Johnson. We sat down and we, got a chance to kind of know each other. And in that, I was able to really get an understanding of who this guy was. I mean, very impressive guy, very, very smart. We came from different sides of the tracks, but, he used to be a prosecutor, for God's sakes. I did 30 years in prison, right? And since I mentioned, like I always say, it was bank robbery, kidnap, attempted murder on police, and it was what it was. I was guilty. I'm not over here feeling like anybody's victim. See, mindset, it starts right there. I'm nobody's victim. I simply made life choices which took me down difficult roads. And, that's another thing I will highlight, because I often tell people that I'm unapologetic. I don't ask for forgiveness. I don't ask, for mercy. I always say I was guilty. I didn't file a bunch of appeals. I didn't cry a bunch of tears. And why do I say it that way? Because some people say, well, oh, wow, this guy's ruthless, right? He just doesn't care. No, it's not that. It's not that. And I think that I'll take this moment to explain why I always say that I'm unapologetic. Because what I don't like is pity parties. See, do I regret what I did? See, and that's, you notice how I said the word regret? I can't say that I do, because I did it consciously. Do I regret the path that my life took? Of course. I mean, in a human sense, who wants to go do 30 years? But see, I won't sit and have a pity party about decisions I consciously made. I have to own what I did to my life, because only then do I have the power to change it. So there's not that I'm just some callous and ruthless, heartless guy. But you know what happens? Too often guys will go do this time, and then when they come home, they're weepy and whiny. They feel like the whole world is against them. The government is against them. The police is against them. Society is against them. They can't get a job, and whiny, whiny, whiny. Look, dude, we owned it. We did our thing. We played our part. We brought about the consequence. Now, does that say that the justice system is fair? Of course it's not. We all know the problem. I'm a social political politician. Don't get me wrong. I'm into it. I can have that conversation. I know about the injustices. Well, I've written 32 books. I've been on the front line. I've had a youth outreach school. I've had a radio show. I've done these things. But see, here is this. That doesn't excuse the part that I played in what occurred. And if I come and say, oh, I'm so sorry, God, forgive me, my life, is it real? Or am I playing on somebody else's heart, playing on their mercy? You see, because there's no way to undo what took place. Am I proud of what took place? Of course not. Mostly because it hurt my mother. It hurt my father. It killed my father, actually. He died that day. See, there's layers to it. But I have to own that too. Didn't nobody do that? I did that. My dude was so close to me, he turned on the news and couldn't take it. He saw what was happening and he had a stroke and he never recovered. That was his last vision on earth. Me held up in the house with a hostage. You see, there's some deep-seated wounds there. So this isn't me being callous. This is just me saying, you know what? I love me enough to forgive me. And I don't ask society to give me anything but an opportunity to exist. That's it. Which is one of the reasons I love network marketing. Network marketing doesn't care about your past. They don't hold it against you. It's all about what you do today. What you do today is what pays you. Nobody cares about what you did in the past. Nobody cares how much money you had or didn't have. Nobody cares where if you used to be a stripper, if you used to be a prostitute, if you sell drugs, if you've been a criminal. Nobody cares. Right? It's a space where people really, truly reward you for the work you do. And those that know me, they know I worked day in and day out. It is literally 2:59 a.m. as I sit here making this recording. No days off. See, the only thing I say it was like a Martin Luther King moment for me. When I came home, my nickname in the streets, Godfather. I'm an active Crip, from the hood. I'm not going to say, oh, I'm a former gang member and I've changed my ways. See, all that stuff is false. I want to be authentic. I want to be truthful. And I want people to know me for who I am. Does that mean I'm out there actively on the block? No. But am I good in the hood? Absolutely. I'm not going to distance myself from my guys that's in the struggle. It's why I came up with Icons to Icons. I launched that platform as soon as I started having some success in this industry because I wanted to show people that it's okay. You can still be as real as you want to be, but you can do something better with your life. And network marketing offers us that opportunity. You see, the only way to have those genuine conversations is for me to first be genuine with myself. Now, I know there's those that sit on a cloud of thinking of judgment, right? They may think they're better than or figure they've got it all figured out. That's fine. Hey, I'm not here to change nobody's mind. But let me just tell you one thing, and I want to make this very clear. I have a very close connection with God. And I don't know if there's anybody who can say they have a closer connection with God. Me and my guy got a real connection, but that's not me having that conversation. But if there's one who wants to sit and think they can judge because they sit up on some cloud of judgment, well, let me just tell you, mistaken, right? I'm a very spiritual guy, and I walk very closely with my Lord. So I identify my truth. I just don't need to wear it in order to hide behind it or use it as a banner. You know what I mean? I want people to know who I am, know my heart. Judge me, like I say, like Martin King said, judge me for the content of my character and not for the decisions of my past. My integrity is pure. My dedication is solid. My honor is pure. And it goes back to this list. How is it that I've been able to be blessed to have met so many people, to have had so many interactions, and not a single one of them? I tell you, this list is pretty long. I'm just getting there. Not a single one of them can speak shade at my name. I've never done any underhanded crap. I've never tried to backdoor them and call their people with the cross recruiting crap, right? I've never been dishonorable in any way. I've marched this journey just like any real soldier should. And so let me just go through the list. Carlos and Carlos Wiley, that's another one. Selena Jackson, Ray Arnold, Tony Merrick, Dom Gates, Ali Salehi, he's a guy that I've had quite a few interactions with. I think so highly of this guy. A lot of praise and respect. We in different companies. We've never been in. Well, we were in the same company. We were in Epic for a minute, but we've never been in each other's business, right? We've never been in each other's teams or downlines. But I can tell you, whenever I reach out, that brother answers my call. Whenever he reaches out, I answer his call. It's a real brotherhood, of care and respect, where we can have honest conversations about what we see and what we think as we watch this industry and what it does. Let me see. Calvin Frazier, Michael Manuel. I've partnered with them on a couple of ventures. Both of those are seasoned veterans in this industry. David McCovey, the owner of Epic, CEO of Epic, have had some dealings with him. Taz Smith, my brother, my boss. I've had some engagements with him and had a chance to get out and actually meet him. He's somebody I think highly of and respect. Albert Johnson, he's another guy I work closely with on different occasions. Clifford and Leland Mendez, I've worked with them on a couple of projects. And, I've always, there's somebody else who I've always had a relationship, even when we weren't in each other's business, but we could get on a call and just talk, really get information from each other, share, help each other, right? Like I would give them advice about whatever I thought I saw, regardless, if they were in my business or not. The same thing with, it's like I've had those relationships with like Ivan Ingram. He's one of those guys, right? Who I had a close relationship with. He's really somebody who I consider a really close partner of mine. I mean, we've gone out and just, remember I got a flat tire. I call this guy. Like, hey man, come get me. I'm in Houston, right? Come get me, man. It's a friendship more than just a business. And it's like even then we were in each other's different downlines, different teams. Doesn't matter. In fact, when he first hit 5K, I was on the phones helping him to build his downline. Had nothing to do with me. But I was bridging the gap and making the connections to help him get the team under him so that he hit 5K, Those sorts of things, those relationships, they matter. Let me see, where am I at here? Clifton and Grace Wright, out of Canada. I've had quite a few engagements with them, had a chance to meet them as well. Great people, we've had some associations along the way. And, I'm hoping one day we'll probably do business again. Many of them. It's like I said, it's relationships. It's Misty McNeely. We've, worked together before. Jonathan Green, another guy, actually met him when we were in Epic. It's him, Spencer Iverson, Mark Sterling. I remember they did an interview with me one time, and they didn't even, when I first hit 10K, I hit 10K in like 5 days, I think it was 10 days, right? And they interviewed me and had no idea about my story. And it's crazy how that interview seems to, a lot of people still remember that interview. Like that was when they interviewed me, I wasn't even prepared for it. I wasn't even told that it was about to happen. They called me and I started sharing my story, and, people found inspiration in my story. It's had me the opportunity to meet people along the way, like, that have really been instrumental, such as Dan Allen. I mean, he was the guy. He sent me the video, right? We were in a company, King Kong Matrix, David Lesiaga, and Dan somehow had this video. He's like, bro, I remember this video. You said this and that. He recapped the whole thing. It's a year and a half later. Like, how did this dude remember everything that was said? And he has a memory like that. That dude is just super sharp. But yes. So let me see. Spencer Iverson, Peter and Karen Hurst, man. They're the owners of Increase. Had a chance to engage with them while in Increase. And since then, I can tell you, it's been a real friendship. They have been just so loving and supporting. Just great people, man. They're authentic people, and I know we all got our own opinions about people we've engaged with at different times in our lives. But I can tell you, these people have been nothing but angels in my life, and on several different occasions. And, I can tell you, in times of trouble, I've actually picked up the call and just wanted to talk, And these are people who answer the phone and will have a conversation that matters. It really does. So Hassan Muhammad. Now, Hassan is the CEO of a company, that I've had no engagements with. He's a very impressive guy. Like, I've had a chance to get on the phone and meet with him, and just, I'm so impressed with this guy. I mean, he has just that personable spirit. Hassan Mumad, I think it's how it's spelled, Mumad or Muhab, Mumad. Very impressive guy, though. You know what I mean? We were on the phone talking one time. We stayed on the phone like an hour and a half. I mean, just making that connection, that really getting to know each other. Great guy. Femi Olu. Femi is something else, right? So I've never been in his business either, but we engage a lot on Facebook. I mean, I love his energy. He's out front. He's brash. He's outspoken. He's no fluff. He don't cut. The man got his money, and he like, hey, look, it is what it is. I'm living my life. A lot of respect to that brother right there. Christopher Terry, had a chance to meet him, the owner of I Am Academy. I've had a chance to go out and meet with him. You know what I mean? Stephen Rachel, Stephen and his wife, I've had a chance to meet them on several occasions, work with them. Coach Chi has just had really such an effect in my life. Even when I went through a spot where I had, was said that I had cancer, she was the one who introduced me to some holistic doctor, which helped to get me the medication, which basically reversed the growth. I mean, and again, there we are, the value of network marketing. We weren't even in the same company or anything at the time. She's just somebody who I called because I needed some information. I needed help. She answered the phone. She gave me a referral. Of course, I had to pay for the services, of the doctor and the medications, but I do give that a lot of credit for the fact that that tumor completely reversed itself and disappeared. See, that's network marketing. That happened because of network marketing. Let us not undervalue the relationships. Gregory P. Drill had some engagements with him, had a chance to speak with Rodney Burton, Bitcoin Rodney. Sonic Jones, I've met him at least once or twice. Good guy, been able to have engagements with him. Brandon Stringer, I haven't met him. Really, I've had a couple of engagements with him, not really a whole bunch of engagements. I'll even mention Daniel and Terry of the Legends, right? I mean, yeah, I've met them along the journey as well, and some of you guys know how that relationship is gone, but I won't take from the fact that, we've had some explosive moments together, both good and bad, but that's the legends together, right? Joe McKinney, had a chance to work closely with him. Dr. Manoa McClendon, the owner of Tradenology, had a chance to work with him. Some of you may know I was in Tradenology. I hit 25K in 13 days. Some of you guys that know the journey, it's good news, bad news in that story, but I won't relive that story. That's not what this call is about. What I would say is that, life is an adventure worth taking. It really is. I'm excited for the relationships that I've made. I'm excited for some of the recent connections that I've made. Right now, I can tell you some of the most exciting moments of my career are actually taking place. And where it goes from here is, it's yet to be seen. I can tell you, I will always be me. I will always be solid. I will always be truthful. I will always move with integrity. And I will go to the top of this industry. I'm always looking for partnerships. I look at all these leaders and so forth, and I think about the different companies that we are in and how we're all, fighting our individual battles. It has long been my vision, right, to see leaders come together to really work in unison. I mean, can you imagine consolidating that many people in one organization, teams on top of teams on top of teams? That's the way that we get to success. This thing is really about unity. It's really teamwork makes the dream work. So why is that team here and this team there? I can tell you, I'm currently partnered with a company called Envision You, which is launched by David Imonichie and Yvonne Tapia. Now, this is in pre-launch, and I don't think it's saying much, but to say, I don't think it's exposing much to say, one of the most impressive parts for me is there's a leadership chat that David Imonichie has put together. There's over 152 people in this chat, all of whom have been 6, 7, and 8-figure traders. Builders or earners. 6, 7, and 8-figure earners in this industry. All in one chat, in one company, working with one vision. For those who understand the industry, you understand the value of that. We always say, we're a team of like-minded thinkers. Well, let's say you had a team of like-minded thinkers and it were 10 of them. 10 like-minded people on the same journey so that those 10 bring 10 and then those 10 bring 10. You get it. You see that there's a system in place of success, that there's this united drive. You get it? So what if I told you there was 150 of them, all with the same drive, the same mindset, the same dedication, all fighting together? You see, that's what equals success. Too often, people will try to divide one or the other. Oh, it's the product. Oh, I'm a product person. Or I'm a builder person. No, the company has to have a great product. But more importantly, the company also has to have a strong group of core leaders. You see, because if you got a great product, but you don't have enough leaders, the company struggles. Or you can have a bunch of leaders and not enough, the product isn't that good. The company struggles. You have to have both. That is the spirit of network marketing, right? If you're in a company, for instance, and there's only 5 key leaders, let's say you got 5 key leaders, awesome product. The product is supposed to change the world. Oh my God, this is the greatest product. But there's only 5 key leaders. How many people in this magical world are going to hear about it if there's only 5 key leaders? See, somebody has to go take that message to the world. You see, it's very simple. People get all emotional in this stuff, but it's logic, it's chess. So, awesome product, 5 leaders. What if 3 leaders give up and they disappear? Awesome product, 2 leaders. Oh my God. Is that company geared towards success, or is that company geared towards struggle? Be honest. Get your emotions out the way. Think about it. And let's say these 2 leaders, let's look at, are they currently making any money? What is their rank? Is this company growing, or is this company shrinking? And if the company isn't in its momentum stage, the company is shrinking, right? But the product is awesome. The product is great. Oh, look at the price. Are you going to save the company? It's possible. It is possible. Will you now become one of those leaders which will drive this company to massive success and then become one of the name brand members of that company? It is very possible. Absolutely. I did it myself in trade knowledge. But can you do it on your own? And if not, who's going to do it with you? And how long do you think it's going to take you? See, this is a moment of truth. You got to look in the mirror and you got to ask yourself these questions. It's not about what you feel. These are the facts you have to consider. It's a lot different when you're partnered with a large group of like-minded thinkers. If you got 100 leaders and let's say 50 of them leave, well, the company can still sustain. The company can still push through. Why? Because you still have 50 powerful voices still spreading the word. You still have the core leadership that it takes to drive a company through momentum into the position of success. It's not a rebirth, a restart, a retry. It's like pushing a car. If the company is already on flat tires and sitting in the mud, not saying that you can't. You may be that person who can come along and pull that company, tow that truck up out of there, man. You can do it. I'm not knocking anybody because that's what it takes. It takes a real severe degree of faith to be a big builder. It takes faith. Mark Sturgeon say, faith and fear can't live in the same space. It's another quote that I took and I live with. And you really, as a builder, you have to move with faith. So I get it. But at the end of the day, you also want to be practical. Would it be harder? Yeah. Is it possible? Yeah. Can you do it? Yeah. Develop a plan, work hard, don't stop, drive. Is it easier to do if you're partnered up with a group of like-minded thinkers, other leaders, other big team builders who's got, 500, 1,000 people in their down? Well, of course, because now what happens is in these companies, you become stacked into their organization. So as they're building, you're building too. You see, that's what this industry is about. It's about formulating those relationships, like these list of names of people. It's making those relationships. Are you making those relationships? Are you talking to people who can pour into you? Are you learning from this industry? Because you can't teach what you have not learned. Are you getting out and shaking the hands and having the conversations? Are you getting the mentorship from those who have gone further and beyond anything you could imagine to learn how they did it? Or are you just going to go off feel? Oh, it's just going to happen eventually. It doesn't work. Let me not tell you that. Yeah, who knows what works, right? I haven't seen the receipts on that. I haven't seen proof that works. What works is relationships. This is network marketing. It is networking with people outside of your inner circle and finding other people. Can it become cannibalistic and nasty? Yes, it can. For those who allow themselves to move with a lack of integrity, they start to, instead of trying to meet new people outside of their struggle, instead of engaging and doing the work that it takes, you know what they do? They try to find ways to take people from other people. We call it cross recruit. It's a nasty thing that happens in this industry. I can't do the work. I can't do the building. I can't get on the phone and meet new people. Oh, but I can take his person. I can take her person. I bet you I can steal that one. It's manipulation, lies. It's a lack of integrity. Your character is being sacrificed. Can God bless an action like that? Ask yourself that. Really, look in the mirror. Can God bless an action like that? It's very savage. It's very selfish. And at the end of the day, it's going to hurt a lot of people. Do you care? And if you do, can God bless an action like that? Really? You think so? I know there's some, well, God let me do it. God was the one who brought these other people to my life. Did God bring them there? Really? Is you? But I'm just saying, I would say, integrity takes you a long way. Making your name, solid, moving with integrity and honor will take you a lot further. I'm so proud to be able to say, I get a lot of phone calls from different owners of companies, leaders, and, high level earners, seasoned veterans. And every single time, I'm told how, these people are starting to know my name. They speak my name, and everybody speaks with so much honor and praise with my next to my name. Never anything smutty, nasty, or dirty. That means the world to me, that my peers, that my elders in this industry recognize me, see me, respect me. And at the end of the day, have joined me on this journey. It means more than you ever know. I've made some pretty high level and important connections. And, those connections are going to open doors beyond anything I could have ever imagined, both for me and the team, right? I can tell you, even I think about, Lucretia Wallace. I've worked with her, what's been now, a little over a year now. And, she's a woman who's been around the industry for like 10 years. She gives me a lot of information. Like, she's that person who, I tap into, who can add color to my vision. She knows people, she knows things, she can add a little color where I may still be a little black and white. Even though she's in my quote unquote downline, she's my partner, right? She's somebody I can turn to, that I can talk to, that I can learn from. It's those things that matter. When we really learn from each other, when we lean on each other, I think about Camille Young. Now, Camille Young was not originally brought in by me. She was brought in by a guy named Travis Jackson. But I think about her because it's like, she's been with me now over 2 years, right? Or just about 2 years. And, she's so raw. She's upfront. She's so smart. She's so capable that a lot of times when I can't figure something out, I have somebody I can turn to. Somebody who is authentic and genuine and who has been loyal, no matter the storms. We've been through some storms. Like, my team has been through storms. We've been through good times, bad times, this company, that company. And yet, to sit and say that I have, people who really, stand by me in those storms, it's priceless. And she's one of those persons, one of the greatest people I'll say that I've met on this journey. I mean, you meet a lot of great people. It's not just because of their rank, not just because of, they're so smart, they're best trader. It's just authentic, genuine people who add color and value to your life. That's what network marketing. I think of Miss Gwen Nash, and I can go on and on and on. I don't want to just keep start naming everybody, because then I have to give examples and examples. But I've met so many people on this journey who's helped to shape my life. even so far as, I do want to mention Mark Patterson, Rosnick Pickett, and, Gabe, and it's, man, on and on and on. Carrie, Amy, and Daniel. I mean, these people have helped to shape my life unlike anything I could have ever imagined. There's Curtis Cobra. Definitely got to mention him. He's another one of those leaders that was just there, man. Man, it's been a whirlwind journey, and it's only just begun. Like I say, I've made records amounts of money, crazy, hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I've gone all the way broke and had to start over. I've had, one of the hugest teams. I've had a team of 3,600 people and had to start over. There's ups and downs, but it's what you do in those moments. It's who you are. And one thing about me, whether I'm up, whether I'm the same guy, you feel what I'm saying? It ain't going to change. Because I am who I am authentic, and I carry me on this journey. I say to you all, be excited, be encouraged, and I'll leave it with my sayings. When everybody does a little, nobody has to do a lot. But it's important that we all do our part. Please remember that part of it. Network marketing changes lives. It's the second highest paid profession in America. It's really worth it. It's not a scam. It's an opportunity that can change your life forever. But you have to step outside yourself. You have to be open and willing to learn. You have to be coachable. Oh my God. And you have to be coachable. Remember, you can get around that 5 to 7 year curse. But it's just like being a teenage, right? You got to first open your mind and say, you know what? Yes. Somebody please teach me, and then be open to receiving what they teach. Until you get there, yeah, it's going to be a hard road, right? 5 years, 7 years, 10 years. And then finally one day you'll wake up and say, man, let me go learn and see what the heck I'm doing wrong. Right? So I say to you all, man, love the people and love what you do. And the rest comes easy. I thank you guys all, happy to share a little bit. Hopefully I said something that matters. In the end of the day, I'm telling you, man, network marketing pays. Network marketing changes lives. There's a lot of great opportunities out there. There really are. But more importantly, there's a lot of great people out there. Meet the people that you want to share the opportunity with. Meet the people that you want to share the opportunity with. And no matter where you go in this industry, pay attention. Ask questions. Never move off of blind feelings and emotions. Don't do it. Does that mean you'll make mistakes or that you won't make mistakes? We all make mistakes. It's like anything else in life. You pick a mate, you think he or she is the awesome sauce. 2 or 3 months later, you find out, he or she ain't exactly who I thought it was, right? That ain't what I'm looking for. So that happens. Don't be hurtful by it. Don't be harmed by it. I mean, really, it's just a different back office. Nobody's asking you to pick your stuff up and move from California to Atlanta. You're not really moving, right? You're just logging into a new back office. And I'm going to tell you something else. For those teams that never been anywhere, never done anything, you have more power to help yourself and your team when you move. It is one of the most empowering moments. Did you lose some people? Absolutely, because people lose faith. But then did you really lose them? See, that's the thing. Did you really lose them? Or were you just keeping them hanging on? Because if they left, it probably wasn't in them anyway. You probably recruited the wrong person. You see, because mindset is everything. And you only need 2 or 3 people on the same mindset, locked into the same journey that changes your life. Find those people who want to engage, who believe in what's happening here, who are willing to do the extra and work that go the extra mile, and you'll watch your life change before your eyes, rapidly so. But that doesn't start until you and until they actually learn the industry, step outside the box, make the connections, become a student, and then duplicate it by sharing it and becoming a teacher. That's what it takes. It's a marathon, right? It's a relay. You have to receive, and then you have to pass it on and give. You have to receive, and then you got to pass it on and give. If you're not receiving, what are you giving? There's a disconnection there. If you're not receiving, and then the only thing you're giving is who you are, what are the people beneath you receiving? They have been disconnected from success. They have been disconnected from all of those connections that they need. They've been disconnected from all the messaging and education that they need to be successful, because now all they got is you. You got the big brain. You got the big ideas. You. They got you. Ooh, well, how's that working for you, right? It takes more than just you. You have to receive and then pour into others. You have to reach outside of your shell, step outside of your comfort zone. You have to go out into the industry, learn and make the connections, build your list, right? Because the more that you do, the more you can create that sense of education. It's like reading a bunch of books, right? The more you pour into yourself, the more you can pour into others. Well, same thing with this list in network marketing. The more you engage with others, the more doors you can open for others. But until you've opened those doors for yourself, where are you leading these people to? What is their hope? Where are they to go? How will they measure success? How, when they get to that, oh, is it just follow you? Do what you do. Listen to you. And then, like, have you ever had a top rank? Are you going to help them get a top rank? And when they make the top rank, will they then get a chance to meet other people and engage in this industry? It's the chicken or the egg. Do they learn first and then go on to be massively successful? Or do they become massively successful and ultimately open doors and go learn? The chicken or the egg? Which one makes sense? It's duplication. The stuff isn't rocket science. But if you're not learning it, you can't be teaching it. So that means what? This is a group of people living on an island. Jim Jones did something like that. Does that help people? I don't know. But a lot of people love Jim Jones. They died for Jim Jones. They drunk the Kool-Aid, man. They died for Jim Jones. So there's something about that. There's something about that, that people will follow you to the ends of the world. They will die for you. There's something about that that I've never understood. I don't know how it benefits you. I don't know how it benefits them. But there are pockets of people out here in this network marketing space that exist with that kind of loyalty. It's crazy cultish. It's weird to me. It's dangerous to me. But more importantly, it doesn't add any value to those people that follow. Maybe some people don't want value. They just want to exist. I don't know. And I won't go into a whole preaching and lecture about that. I'm only going to say, I hope I've said some things here that you've taken some things from, that you use this as a message to help you find your path on this journey of network marketing, right? Love the people, love what you do, make the connections, build the bonds. And I salute to everyone that I mentioned on this list, some I didn't even get to, and so many more that I've met on this journey. No slight to you if I didn't get to you, if I didn't mention your name. I'm humbly honored, for how I've been received in this industry. I'm humbly honored in some of the things that I hear you guys say about me in this industry, and just salutes. Thank you all so much. Have a good one.